This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell and Unette Gentry. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Give them a call, 727-9900. Today's news is also brought to you by Gunny's Air Conditioning and Heating. New service and repair. Call Gunny's 775-727-6800.
Welcome to KPVM TV and Ace Country Radio's News 25. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.
And I'm Unette Gentry. It is Tuesday, March 28th.
Well, Nye County Sheriff Office Sheriff Joe McGill gives an update on two missing person cases that had a good turnout over the weekend.
We were pretty busy. We had two separate missing person cases that started and ended both over the weekend. The first one was a young man, 19 years old, by the name of Hayden. He was reported on Saturday, March 25th at about 11:30 as missing from a group home. In the afternoon on the 25th, we activated search and rescue. They spent several hours, well into the dark hours, searching the area for Hayden, and they were unable to locate any indications of where he may be. They again came out on Sunday morning at around 12:30 on the 26th on Sunday. We were in the area of the group home again, and Hayden was located about a quarter mile from the house. It appeared that he had probably walked up the mountain, and he had some injuries that very much appeared like he had fallen. He was transported to Desert View Hospital where he is treated. Second individual, Wayne Weaver, he was reported missing to us on Sunday the 26th at about 11 p.m. And so he was entered as a missing person, also endangered due to his age and the fact that he was suffering from dementia. On the morning of the 27th, at about 7 in the morning, he was located in Las Vegas. We sent a deputy or detective into Las Vegas to interview him, and that case is still ongoing. Yeah, I want to give a big shout out to Mercy Air. I contacted the fire chief, Scott Lewis, and asked if he thought maybe Mercy Air would be willing to assist us in the search for Hayden out in that very remote area. And within about 20 minutes, I got a call back saying that they would pick up one of our detectives and fly over the area looking for him. There was a lot of activity on Facebook, people out looking for him. And you know, in the case of a missing person in this small community, people seem to come out of the woodwork, and they really step up, and we appreciate any help we can get. Crime Stoppers is a nationally used organization, and what they are is they get funding from donors. It's just a more recognized method in this day and age, and it also can be used 100% anonymously. So it is a very valuable tool. It also allows us to network with other law enforcement agencies in our area, and it allows us to get that information out to those other agencies more quickly. They can use Crime Stoppers. The phone number is 702-385-5555, or you can call the Sheriff's Department. Again, you can remain anonymous. Our number is 775-751-7000 for dispatch, and obviously if it's an emergency, always call 911.
In other area news, we have updates now for you regarding remains found in the Lake Mead area. Clark County has now given updates regarding the skeletal remains found at Lake Mead as the water receded from the unprecedented drought that we're currently in. Regarding the remains found at Lake Mead back in October 2022, skeletal remains were discovered in the Colville Bay area at Lake Mead by contractors doing work near the marina. Additional remains were found on October 19th, which were determined to belong to the same person as the remains found on October 17th. The remains in this case have now been identified by the Clark County Office of the Coroner Medical Examiner as Donald Smith of North Las Vegas. Mr. Smith was 39 years old at the time of his death, which was reported as a drowning back in April 1974. The identification was based on DNA analysis and reports from the original incident. The cause and manner of Mr. Smith's death was determined to be drowning and accidental. And the following is a summary of other investigations that the Clark County Office of the Coroner Medical Examiner is involved in regarding human remains found at Lake Mead. Back on August 16, 2022, skeletal remains were also discovered, and this time by park visitors near the shoreline of Boulder Beach. The Clark County Office of Coroner Medical Examiner has confirmed that the remains found on August 16th and the remains found in the same area of Boulder Beach on August 6th and on July 25th belong to the same person. The Clark County Office of Coroner Medical Examiner is working to determine the identity of that decedent. And on May 7th, 2022, skeletal remains were discovered in the Colville Bay area. Those remains have been identified by the Clark County Office of the Medical Coroner Examiner as Thomas Erndt of Las Vegas. Mr. Erndt was 42 years old at the time of the reported drowning, and that was back on August 2nd, 2002. The identification based on investigative information found that DNA analysis reports from the original incident helped to identify that person. And the cause and manner of Mr. Ernst's death is reported as not to be determined. And on May 1st, 2022, remains were also discovered in a barrel at Hemingway Harbor. The decedent was a male who died from a gunshot wound, and the manner of death was determined to be homicide. The decedent is unidentified at this time. The process for identifying the remains includes examinations to determine the gender and approximate age, height, and weight of each decedent, and the collection of DNA samples, the quality of which could be greatly affected by time and environmental conditions, and comparing findings to information about people who have been reported missing over the years. And stay tuned, we'll be right back with much more local and national news here at News 25.
You're watching News 25, the most recognized and farthest reaching local news in Nye County. News 25, local news you can count on.
Welcome back to News 25. Well, the Board of County Commissioners adopted a bill to bring Nye County Code into alignment with state health regulations pertaining to mobile food units. Also, Commissioner Donna Cox learned that NRS does not stand for Nevada recommended statutes.
If you have your food truck parked at Smith's, for instance, there are restrooms available in Smith's, so you're allowed to stay up to 5 hours. If you're parked at the corner of Homestead and Gamebird, where we have issue with a lot because they're in right-of-way, there is no restrooms. So that's kind of what that's designed for.
And at the end of the day, if we go against the 4-hour rule, we're going against the
state.
NRS, is that correct?
That's correct.
Thank you.
The reason that verbiage was changed was for situations like a balloon festival, a harvest festival. You know, we do vendor permits, and even the state recognizes that at a special event, like an organized event like that, where somebody's going to set up for 2 days, 3 days, whatever the case may be. That's why that verbiage was changed, because that concern was brought up. If you're not part of a special event, which I even believe we define special event somewhere, then you have to abide by this. And the only other thing is, I personally have to abide by state law. You know, that I guess is up to you guys if you don't want to, but my task and my position is to bring things forward to bring us into compliance with law. And that's exactly what I'm doing.
Okay. So since you feel you have to do state law, but then you work under us, and we need to help the people, because that's what this is all about. You know, without the people, we wouldn't even be here. And they're the ones trying to put on the events, or they're the ones that are trying to make a living doing this, and they're the ones that are trying to provide to the communities. So when it comes right down to it, I believe we should be able to override the NRS in these cases, because they're actually suggestions They're not really laws. They're something that
There actually are laws.
statutes that we, well, you have to read the definition.
Well, I mean, I believe you took an oath yourself to follow and uphold laws and codes.
Yes,
So-
but the NRS is only statutes. They're a guideline. If you really get into, if you want to get really deep and technical, they're not laws.
And let the sheriff know I'm going to be doing 100 miles an hour everywhere I go from now on.
I'd like to call for the vote at this time, please.
Aye.
Jabor's aye.
Carboni is aye.
And I vote aye under protest.
Yes.
Aye.
I love it.
Some employment updates for you now. According to the Nevada Department of Employment Training and Rehabilitation's February 2023 economic report, the state's seasonally adjusted unemployment rate was 5.5% in February, which was unchanged from January. Seasonally adjusted estimates account for regularly seen economic patterns, with the following estimates not seasonally adjusted. In 3 metropolitan statistical areas, the unemployment rates were 6% in the Las Vegas area, 4.5% in Reno, and 5.2% in the Carson City area. And in Nevada's counties, the lowest unemployment rate was in Lander County at 3.9%, and Nye County had the highest unemployment rate at 6.7%.
And park rangers were dispatched to Badwater Basin and Death Valley National Park around 2:30 a.m. on the morning of March 24th to look for a woman reported missing by her companions. The woman returned around 8:20 after hiking to a road and hitchhiking. The group had hiked onto the Salt Flats at night to photograph stars. The 61-year-old woman of Austin, Texas, left her group to retrieve something from her vehicle in the parking lot. Her companions became concerned when she did not return. After searching for her, her companions drove to Furnace Creek for cell service and called 911. Park rangers drove to Badwater, turned on bright flashing vehicle lights, and searched on foot. When she hadn't been found by daybreak, more Death Valley National Park employees were called out to assist with the search, bringing the total to 7 responders. Park rangers requested assistance from California Highway Patrol helicopter, which was on its way when the woman was found. When the woman realized that she had hiked farther than the distance to the parking lot and was lost, unable to see the landmarks in the dark, she stopped moving. Once the sun rose, she was able to see the road and walked to the junction of Badwater Road and Natural Bridge Road, a few miles north of Badwater. She hitchhiked back to the Badwater parking lot and arrived around 8:20 a.m. And of course, we have good weather right now, and that was also in her favor. Be careful out there. News 25 will return with more news right after this.
You're watching News 25, brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500. News 25, local news you can count on.
Well, the Subway Cookie Drive begins tomorrow, Wednesday, and benefits a great cause. We spoke to teacher Ms. Veloz and student Kelsey Jackson from J4NG at Pahrump Valley High School to find out more.
Jobs for Nevada Graduates is a program in Pahrump Valley High School where I have the honor of working with many students, and I help them by assisting them with many things like including resume, cover letters, financial aid, scholarships. Our main goal is to make sure that after high school that they have a plan. So meaning whether it doesn't always have to be college, but college is included. So any post-secondary program, trade school, certificate program, and also we try to ensure that they end with a job as well. So one of the great things about the J4NG program is that we do a 12-month follow-up after they graduate high school. During those 12 months, we call them every month and we ask them about how their school is going and if they have a job. And if they don't have a job, we connect them with interviews, and it is their job to go to that interview with all the skills that we taught them in high school and land the job.
So for the Subway Cookie Drive, we are doing the Carla Lopez Never Give Up Scholarship, and David is granting 2 scholarships to seniors and one $500 scholarship to a junior. So For the cookies, he is doing a dozen cookies for $8.99, and it's additional funds for additional scholarships that he could grant to more students throughout the program. The time period, it does start March 29th, and it goes till April 4th.
So it's all dependent on how much we raise, whether we're going to give a senior another $1,000, or maybe if we're going to give 2 juniors $500, so that way they can use it the year they graduate. It's all dependent on how much we raise, but really we want to set them up to be successful right after high school. So this can really take a lot of the burden off their shoulders and help them kind of get the books, get relocated, whatever they need to do. Please sign up for the elective. It's called employment preparation. So it's called employment preparation, so just be prepared because it's not going to say J4 and G on there. But yes, we are taking new members. We take new members every year. I'm sad that about 20 of my kids are graduating, so there's a lot of room, so please sign up.
And in today's health news, believe it or not, nearly half of all U.S. adults have high blood pressure. Even more concerning, hypertensive disorders in pregnancy are now on the rise. Dr. Tosin Goji with Cleveland Clinic says there are 3 types of high blood pressure disorders during pregnancy that are most common.
We have chronic hypertension. This is a woman who was given a diagnosis of hypertension even when she was not pregnant, or who was diagnosed with hypertension before the 20th week of pregnancy. That is chronic hypertension. Then we have gestational hypertension. As the word gestation, this is hypertension after 20 weeks of pregnancy, and this can now continue from gestational hypertension to become what we call preeclampsia.
The CDC reports high blood pressure is seen in 1 in every 12 to 17 pregnancies among women ages 20 to 44 in the United States. Preeclampsia occurs in around 1 in 25 pregnancies. Dr. Goa says preeclampsia is the more severe type of hypertension in pregnancy and can potentially impact organ function and the placenta. To avoid complications, she stresses women must be screened for high blood pressure before, during, and after pregnancy. Dr. Goa explains those over the age of 40 have an increased risk of developing hypertensive disorders during pregnancy, as well as those with diabetes, immune system disorders like lupus, or women who went through in vitro fertilization. She notes Black women are also at an increased risk. So how can a woman lower her risk for high blood pressure?
Exercise, healthy diet, staying active, trying to be very intentional with your diet. I tell patients you're not fasting or starving, but you're taking more fruits and vegetables, drinking more water, taking your long walks, trying to reduce stress. Stress has been known to complicate a lot of maternal morbidity, especially in Black women.
And Dr. Goji also says that it's important to take measures before pregnancy to control blood pressure levels and decrease the risk of any complications.
Well, I know that you know that Arby's opened today on Highway 160. I'm sure you saw the lines going around the place today. Ace Country Radio is going to be there on Friday. We're going to be doing a live remote from 11 until 1 p.m. And we are going to be giving away some Eagles tickets, and we'll tell you more in the coming days about that. Congratulations to Arby's, all their employees, and you'll be seeing Ace Country Radio out there on Friday from 11 to 1.
News 25 Weather Cam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Let's take a look outside at that gorgeous snow-capped mountain, but beautiful. Clear blue skies in that direction. We'll take a closer look at our forecast and find out if it's getting warmer or cooler after the break.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hi, good evening, Nevada. It's John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios on a Taco Tuesday and worldwide on the local BTV app, the app you need mucho on a Taco Tuesday. Friendly, 55 degrees, 61 out there in Fallon, Carson City, the cool spot at 50 degrees, and all the way down to Tonopah, 51. All of those, you get some wind advisories, some winter snow warnings coming at you this evening. If you're heading north, be careful on the roads. Could be slick about Goldfield. And on down, not so much a problem. 52 degrees out in Goldfield. Beatty saw 64 at 70 out in Amargosa, making them the hot spot, and 67 in Las Vegas. Not too bad poolside. Death Valley saw 81, and here in the Paradise of Pahrump, our current temperature is 65 degrees. Wow, nice. 68 just a little bit earlier. Good day. Actually, it was. The winds out of the south didn't really hit us until the afternoon at 15 miles per hour, but we got that wind advisory going in through tomorrow. We're going to see some significant gusts. Sun rose this morning at 6:36, setting this evening at 7:02. Watch for it under beautiful clear skies. We'll have good star watching tonight as we head to our low of 51 degrees. Winds out of the south-southeast, 13 miles per hour. Blowing in some humidity. Look at that, 29%. What do we got tomorrow? Clouds, in fact, and a lot of them bearing rain. 54% chance of rain. We're all getting wet tomorrow. Thursday, it'll be not quite as bad. Friday, temperatures going up to 63 degrees, 72 by Saturday. It's going to be a gorgeous weekend. Sunday, clear skies like that. Temperatures receding a little bit down to the low 60s. And then Monday, we're going to see some rain coming at us and sideways, so about 18 mile per hour winds. But it'll just be a light rain. We'll look forward to that. And then Tuesday, 61. Nice trend we're seeing here in the temperatures. I like it. All right, up 6 degrees over a week. I'll take that. Make some plans for a gorgeous weekend. Back to the desk. Here's Deanna.
All right, thanks,
so
John.
much, John. Did you see that 72 on Saturday?
I know.
It's gonna be nice.
It's looking good on Saturday.
Yeah.
Going to see how that rain looks tomorrow if we got it.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of hoping that we get one more rain.
Possibly. Yes.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap up this edition of News 25 from all of us up here on the Hill. Have a great night.
Good night.